I mentioned the no meta heroes, right?
Yeah.
But maybe even like the Farsas, perhaps, or even like other things, like for example that some of them is pulled out before. Like for example, the Xana is something that he can also play. He's found a lot of success on Loi. Novaria, on the other hand, not my biggest. I'm not a biggest fan of the Novaria, especially in this
Hmm.
particular patch, because it takes way too long to wind up the damage. It's like I'm gonna punch you in the face,
Yeah.
but the cooldown's way too long. You
Correct.
by then you would punch me 3 times.
I,
So
I would say
personally, I don't like that Novaria pick.
I would say if you want to pick a Novaria, a better shot would be Selena. At least you have a huge
Yes.
stun of that
Yeah, definitely.
alongside a huge burst.
Yeah, I feel like Selena is something that Sailor could potentially play. If it's already played Novaria, Selena is definitely on that list.
Well, jumping into the draft, Coach Carrot right now. It sounds
Coach
weird.
Carrot, yeah.
Coach Carrot banning out the Suyo, taking it away from the hands of Louisa. We know how nutty he is on the Assassins as well. But speaking of Assassins, Vincent versus Louisa, what is your thoughts on these two matchups?
I think Loisa, as an assassin player, is a lot strongest compared to Vincent. Vincent has really shown that he's good in his assassins, but I feel like he gets overshadowed by a lot of other junglers in the particular patch. Maybe perhaps this time around, Team Evil will show us a little bit more, something more different, right? Something more exciting, like maybe an Ube. I think this is time that you really pull out an Ube strat, because this is
Wow.
something that Powerful can potentially play. I mean, how hard is it to play Estes? Just click one button, everybody heals up, right?
Oh, man. We're going back to the M3 Blacklist
Yep.
era with
Yep.
Ube strategy. But hey, boxes on the tables. Coach Carrot bans out the Lucas. Coach DJ responds with a Kaleo
Mhm.
ban that might be a Boxia ban, not giving over to the hands of Powerful. And we know how nutty he is
Yep.
with the Boxia. Used to play in the jungle. Right
Oh,
now, it will be in the roam position.
there
So
you go.
that will be taken off the tables for Evil.
Yep.
The bans right now looking very targeted towards setups, looking very targeted towards the roam positions. I wouldn't be surprised if they target down onto the Loyi,
Yep.
especially seeing the first game. If they done their homework today against King's Vanguard, Evil will not be able to get their hands on the Loyi.
Mathilda, surprisingly forgotten by RSG and also Team Flash.
Yeah.
Sorry, I think there's also one game that they banned it out, especially that was Evil that bans away the Mathilda in the first match against Kings of Vanguard. But after that, we don't really seem like Mathilda being picked or banned at all. Mathilda seems like forgotten. But I've seen Mathilda's performance on the hands of Powerful. Powerful feels like the more tanky initiator kind
Yes.
of guy, right? So I think that's something that you also need to take note. If you're citing Team Evil, that's why it's very hard for Vincent to go for these tank utility jungles, but we shall see. It seems like Team Evil takes away the chip for now. I'm expecting what you mentioned, Kingdom Esport. We're looking at the Loi ban as well to
Yeah.
deny that global presence.
I think if the Loyi's getting banned out, which they will actually take out the Loyi away from the hands of Evil, that should be a Gato Gacha first pick to deny FMM of two of
Ooh.
his signature heroes, but it will be the Kimi instead that will go into the hands of Sailor, most likely.
Yeah, like Kimi is actually a really good pick, right? Right now, usually you send it into the mid lane. This is something that I don't believe I've seen Sailor played at all, because yeah, Sailor has never made Kimi old as well. Maybe he's just be hiding that as well. But it could also go into the hands of Ven, right? Ven has played. Let me double check. None of Kimi as well. So technically speaking, wow, this is the first time that we're seeing Team Evil picking up the Kimi.
So Evil picks up Kimi. They might not go for an artillery mage anymore. So Farsa should be under Kingdom Esports perusal. Alongside Gato Kacha, I think it would be a viable option to pick up both the Gato and the Farsa just to deny the Gato over to the hands of Powerful. But it will be the Juicin and the Badang instead. So still a little bit more flexible on Kingdom Esports side.
Badang is a good counter pick against Team Evil, right? That's something that Powerful can potentially use as well. But I'm so surprised, right? Like Badang, the Gato Kacha being let go by Kingdom Esports just like that after knowing that FMM loves to play that one. Or maybe he has something else in his sleeve. Don't forget the Frederick coming out from the side of Team Evil. It seems like we may be going
Ooh.
into a Yubei coming off from Coach Carrot.
Man, I don't know how to feel about the Fredrin because still one of the slowest tank junglers. And after that meta shift in season 7, we don't really see a lot of tank junglers coming out anymore. It used to be so that Fredrin was the hot pick. But right now, I think it still has a little bit of options where you want to play that Fredrin. It could be in the EXP lane, Adamir Pro that out as
EXP
well.
Adam EXP Fredgens is very
Yeah,
hard for you to stack the combos.
but
You
still,
usually you want the full combo to be able to go into
correct,
the team fight, right? You
correct.
get
But you
that
still have
combo
options though.
from the jungle creep.
You still have options to how you
True.
want to play around the Fredrin. Yeah, on a long shot, you could play the Fredrin in the roam, but technically you play it in the jungle.
Hmm.
And Ling is definitely one of the answers towards the Fredrin, where you have faster, much faster rotation speed around the jungle and around the map. So you have cross map plays for Kingdom Esports looking very, very strong right now off the bat. Evil needs to pick something that has lane pressure and lane control on their side. And I think they're putting it in the hands of Moskov. I'm not too sure how the Ling and Moskov is going to be interacting in this game's execution, but I'm not too worried about Ven knowing how he's able to just dodge and read his opponents. So, man, not favoring the Fredrin pick at all as of now.
It's kind of interesting. It's something that we've never seen from the side of Team Evil, right? Team Evil, as of now, from the side of Vincent, has never picked any form of tank assassins until now. He's been playing the Hayabusa, the Joy, the Hanzo, the Suyu, the Fanny. It's the first time we see in MPL Singapore Season 9, he's pulling out a tank jungle. But like I said, it can go anywhere, right? It can
Yep.
be I don't know, a Fredrin gear?
A
Or,
Fredrin gear,
or let
yeah.
me throw you crazy idea number one for
Fredrin
today. For
powerful.
today, crazy idea number one for today. Fredrin powerful,
Fredrin powerful.
which is very weird to be honest.
Very weird because you don't have your level 4 power spikes and
Correct.
you scale with the level 4 power spikes, and that
Correct.
is your the huge advantage that you want to grasp, right?
Mhm,
For
mhm.
Coach Carrot, banning out the gold laners, that's a very smart move away from the hands of Malik TZ. For Coach DJ, they are anticipating an enchanter roam
Yeah.
for the side of Evil. So taking on Matilda as well as the Phobias. So Gears Phobias won't see the light of day.
Yeah, I love this band coming out from the Phobias, right? The Phobias really do wonders against Ling, and also Gear has played the Phobias quite well at the same time. So you want to make sure he's uncomfortable. And maybe what's next? You need more zone deniers, especially coming out with the Temples of Blades, or maybe towards a certain extent the Benang. You need something like a glue, something tanky as well that Gear can potentially look at.
Hmm. Tricky situation right now.
Mhm.
The ball is in the court of Evil. What will they ban? I think giving Moskov an easier time, the Bruno might be a good option right here.
The Harith.
Harith as well, yeah. Kingdom doesn't really seem to have a lot of magic damage, so they do ban out the Harith.
Mm-hmm.
So now Kingdom Esports has that first pick advantage,
Granger.
missing out the Granger, or maybe even Irithel if you want to just kite around. You
Mm-hmm.
do need someone to burst down the Fredrin because in the late game, if Fredrin scales up, you get very, very tanky, you get very beefy. It's
Yeah.
difficult to take that Fredrin down. You could always go back to basics into the carry again.
Right now, definitely, I feel like Carry is a better pick. Now that you mentioned about it, Granger doesn't really bode well into Ubase.
Yeah.
Usually, the Granger does a lot of damage in the early game, and sorry, in the burst format, right? So Kingdom Esports not gonna force it. Still living in big, right? Hylos can also easily go into the hand of Powerful, whereas Banang will be going into the hands of. Sorry, the Hylos can go into the hands of FMM, whereas Bear can still hold on to the Badang. So I like what Coach DJ is doing for this one.
Hylos EXP. That means either CC or, yeah, it's going to be the CC being picked up by Gear.
Yep.
And then the Gacha taken away from the hands of FMM.
Yep.
But I think FMM is definitely going to play the Badang anyway, so that's a new unique hero pull into his arsenal as well. Last pick over Malik TZ. I think definitely the carry would work the best
Carry.
here.
Carry.
Dealing up against 3 tanky boys and especially 2 marksmen from that back line. The only thing that Kingdom Esports needs to play around is layering the ultimates and layering all the skills onto Kimmy. And as long as you can take that Kimmy down, I think it's all easy pickings from there on. Moskov is kind of like a pseudo frontline hero because you're putting Moskov on the side lanes. Once you land at SOD, Moskov goes to the front lines.
Yep. Well,
Granger.
I mean, you know what? If Team Evil is saying that, hey, we don't really need to think about like if we're not gonna drop an Estes right here, I think Granger definitely shines in this one because Granger going in, there's a lot of burst damage. You can basically snipe down. Hopefully the Kimi, you can snipe down. You can potentially outplay the Suyu, especially in early game. You win the gold lane and then look to snowball from there. So maybe that's what Malik TZ is thinking about from the side of Kingdom Esports. But you have to take a look at the execution.
As we jump down onto this one, man, I kind of like Evil's draft quite a bit because there's going to be a Fredrin in the Rome. No, Fredrin EXP. No, okay. So
No, it's a
yeah,
Frederick.
there's a little bit of a graphic
Yeah,
issue
it's a
right
Frederick jungle.
there. Fredrin jungle.
Definitely, but what I'm kind of surprised coming off from Team Evil is that they're not going to go for the Ube because it feels like they're setting up for an Ube so much. But of course, it can be easily countered by one carry right there.
Yeah. Man, it's it's all down to execution, to be honest.
Definitely.
Yeah. I'm just not too fond of how Frederick likes to play around, but let's see.
Yep, let's take a look, ladies and gents. This is game number 1 between Team Evo and Kingdom Esports. The sets are here. Interesting fact coming out of Team Evo is that they're not going for their usual assassin jungler, but we have to see how it goes. Seems like Kingdom Esports right here just going to spread it out all across the map right now, trying to get as much as possible. I think in terms of early game priority, which team are we looking at?
I think definitely Kingdom Esports, the Ling definitely farms much faster than the Fredrin, but Ling actually just finished his purple buff and moving his way over to the purple, so it actually goes against all the strategies that I'm thinking, because the Impure Rage from Fredrin actually helps him a little bit. I'm looking at the early game jungle pressure that's coming through, especially from both sides, because Louisa actually takes a little bit faster to farm in. I'm expecting a fast level 4 from Louisa going into the first team fight down the turtle side.
Yeah, but that's why also Sailor actually leashing for Vincent, right, as early on. But something also interesting, right, instead of going for your Quantum Charge, you went for the Impure Rage. So Vincent's expecting to get even more damage and perhaps more heals out of it. Don't forget, there's only one Revitalize pack by Team Evo side.
A little bit of an early game rotations down on the bottom side as well. I do think that for the side of Evil, I like the dual rotations from Sayla as well as powerful, because with the Gacha Gacha and the Concussive Blast, it helps clear the lanes much faster, rotating that Kimmy up into the team fight. But now Vincent going on the aggressive, already level 4, trying to get a little bit of quick poke, a little bit of quick intel before the turtle spawns up in the next 20.
Yep, powerful. Providing that vision over the side of FMM and Melon zoning out Sailor wonderfully, Churros.
Now, I think the gold lane shouldn't be in shambles as of now. As Vincent, as slow as a farm that I thought that Fredrin would have, they're actually making things work right now.
Yep.
The turtle getting spawned out, Vincent starting things off, and his Kingdom Esports actually making a beeline towards that turtle, getting that reset, and both teams are just ditching it.
Yep, it seems like Bear is still in position, trying to drag the turtle over to the other side. Malik versus Ben at the bottom lane. Malik is actually taking a lot of damage as a Grandeur.
Yeah, it's the passive from the Moskov that actually allows that reach, allows that range, but I don't think it's sort of like a lane-to-lane advantage. On the top side though, Gear trying to get that zone out though, powerful, launching up.
So the priority also pulled over to the side of Team Evil. Ultimate from Sailor ultimately wasted. There comes a glorious palm wave from the side of FMM as Kingdom Esports steals the turtle away from from Evil, and after that overwhelmed with sheer amount of force. The damage from the side of Loisa and also with the help of Melon is starting to show.
Well, typically you'll see if you pick up a Moskov, you would have the SOD coming down. Louisa already making a beeline towards that bottom side as well, taking up a lot of resources from Evil. But the bottom line is Bear created that opportunity, created that space for Louisa to come in and swoop in with the Tempest of Blades, pick up that turtle, and convert those into kills.
Yep.
So now, Evil is actually crumbling right now. They thrive on that early game pressure. However, in the late game, it is a little bit tricky because Powerful has a little bit more tankiness to him. Vincent has a little bit more tankiness to him, and you throw Gear into the mix as well.
Yeah, that's why I don't really like CC. What are you gonna do at level 4, right?
Yeah.
Badang has a lot more impact as compared to a CC at level 4, but it seems like, okay, Vincent on the chase right here. But he's a Fredrin. Here comes the ultimate coming off of Sailor. Will be able to immobilize FMM. The DPS will be able to land, but the damage from Melon landing onto Vincent, converting into Grey Health as of now. Melon's just literally zoning out Team Evil right now.
Yeah. The pepper spray or the lantern flare actually stops tanks in its tracks, and it's basically a juicy target for the entire side of Evil. You have 3 tanks to work with. The only thing they have to worry about is Gear coming into the picture, going straight into your backline and trying to disrupt you, but you can always use the Crimson Beacon to get out of the way. So Kingdom Esports actually playing that early game to their strong advantage, especially so in the gold lane where Malik Tees is holding his own ground. The Kingdom Esports shifting the attention away from the gold lane and making sure that Granger gets all of these stacks that he needs to pop off in the mid game.
Yeah, Ben was actually winning in the early game to a certain extent, but now it seems like what you mentioned, the pressure alleviated by Kingdom Esports, allowing Malik TZ to also start scaling up. Hold on, Melon. That's a lot of damage coming up from Sailor as well. Try to spray the damage onto him, but he will be able to just sidestep and escape. But this opens up for the turtle fight.
Yeah, Evil in a better position contest for this one, zoning everyone out of the way. We're going for a small technical pause, but man, oh man, I wasn't expecting how fast Vincent's Fredrin was farming. And typically, now I don't really pick up the Fredrin anymore in my own ranked games because it's just that slow. But the fact of the matter is, Impure Rage actually converts all this into damage for the jungle creeps. I think that's what accelerated his own farm, and he's moving all around the map.
Yep.
Sure, he's not coagulating on the sideways, but that is all according to plan. Once the 5 minute mark hit, I feel like the Moskov is definitely going to
Yeah.
rotate all around that map, trying to gain that farm, and the four of them are going to be sticking together. It's going to be hard to break down. But I do agree with you. CC not a really good target, especially in turtle fights.
Yeah, I feel like CC, even though a lot of people put him as quite such a high tier, I'll be the opposite. I'll put him all the way to trash tier.
Mm.
Because technically speaking, you're only once you hit, you need to win the lane.
Yeah.
All right, but right now, most of the time in MLBB, you're not there to win the lane. You're there to win in these total fights. You're
Yep.
there to win in the second total fights, and potentially all the way to the later parts of the game. As a CC, what do you offer in your kit? You only offer this is entanglement on 2 person. That's about it. I can just walk together, right, and start doing damage. It's not exactly a stun. So if the CC want to work, you need to win from the second minute or the first minute onwards.
Yeah, we'll be jumping right back into the game as well. But
Mhm.
to your point, the entanglement is just to disrupt Louisa. Ignores
Oh,
that where we lay out. Bear actually misses.
Ooh, missing that flicker at the same time. This is stepping forward just a little bit. Sailor outputting the damage. Melting Bear just a little bit longer. And here comes Yusin. Loisa once again stealing the turtle away. Goes into Temples of Blades. Like he's joined the fight at the same time. Loisa takes down Powerful. It is just massive coming out of Kingdom Esports. They stole Evil's turtle twice, Churros.
Great rotation coming in from Malik TZ. Giving up that T1 down the bottom side is no problem at all. Taking out Powerful and just converting all of these into massive lead advantages, especially now that they have 3,000 gold ahead of Evil. Now, Evil, they're not crumbling just as of yet. They just have a very slow start. But ramping up the aggression, ramping up the tempo is all that they need. I think Bear was a little bit too panicky or trigger happy with the flicker and with the fist crack. I feel like he would have been able to get it, but at the same time,
This you gets it though. This is Bear that we're talking about. The Bear trap, that Bear wall. Literally making sure that Evil wouldn't be able to do anything. And hold on a second, it is also gonna catch an AOG being committed all the way up top just to try to defend this one.
this is a very valuable turret that you have. If you take that away, then the purple buff is basically wide and open and exposed. Louisa getting taunted up, but will be able to walk away safely as Kingdom Esports still 4 kills ahead of Evil. Evil just can't seem to find the magic that they had in the game, in the first game.
Yeah, Kingdom Esports literally denying the David Copperfield from the side of Team Evil, right? Loisa, the man, was literally stealing turtles right underneath the noses of Team Evil. Vincent is having a bit of problem, even though he's able to hold down the turtles, but we have to take a look at the late game, right, Churros?
Yeah, late game, definitely Ven will have a different play style. But hopefully, though, Kingdom Esports will be able to capitalize on this small little lead that they have, especially when the turtle is spawning up in 20 seconds. A traction pulse already committed earlier on by Sayla, getting pulled back in, but a little bit of a tuffle here right everywhere.
That's going to be a taunt landing onto FMM. FMM soaking most of the damage. Melon zoning out Powerful. There's no way that Team Evil will be able to commit to that fight.
Now, the Evil has to definitely look towards that turtle. They need to pick up all the resources that Kingdom Esports is leaving behind. But it's easier said than done. Gear,
Yep.
Bear's already in position. Gear can't even get close, or is giving a little bit of intelligence to the rest of the team. But Louisa has that retribution finger, and that is what wins.
Then SOD blocked by Malik. Ooh, that was a good one coming out of Malik TZ. Loisa coming to pick up the kill. Here comes the Temples of Blades. Van is in a spot of trouble. No way for him to run. But at the same time, this gives Evil a perfect breeding opportunity for the turtle to take for themselves.
But not only that, Kingdom Esports are trading it for the blows down the bottom side T1, but Melons and Spot of Bother able to use that sprint to get out.
Yep, still a bit of a trade happening, but it also slows down Team Evil's progression, right?
Slowly but surely, Evil will be able to buy himself a little bit more time because it's still earlier on in the game. I was hoping to see a little bit more rotations, especially from Ven down the mid side, try to funnel all the resources to him. He's only just got that golden staff. Hopefully, we'll be able to see the itemizations coming out from either sides, but that is a little bit slower from the Moskov as you would expect. Malik TZ 2 assists ahead. That is still a little bit more resources funneled through to that Granger. It's all about the Granger versus
Midnight.
Moskov.
Okay, Bear will be able to catch Vincent. Vincent, 4-man gang. No way for him to escape that one.
Speak about funneling though. Coming in, SOD won't be able to do anything. They will be able to take this T1 down all willy-nilly.
Yeah, traction pulse over there trying to slow down the tempo coming off of Kingdom Esports. But look at them. These Kings, they're not phased at all, Churros.
0 kills for the side of Evil. Kingdom Esports taking everything that they can and denying Evil what they desperately need. Kills onto kills onto kills. But then again, the late game, they do have a little bit of high ground advantage. But that's the problem when you have 3 tanks and you are facing up against a Jusin.
Yeah.
Jusin's just blocking you off from the rest of it. It's just pepper spraying you away, creating that space, creating that distance for Malik TZ to gun you down the back line.
Yeah, Vincent on that Fredrin is not working well for the side of Team Evo. As you mentioned, Churros, Menace is just dealing and just picking up and dropping off like a ragdoll.
30 seconds till the Lord spawns up. Kingdom Esports definitely in a better position contest for this one. No more T1s for the side of Evil. But Evil, though, as long as they send Ben and try to funnel him as much as they can, they might have a breathing chance onto that late game. It's still seeping into 10-minute mark. Kingdom Esports psyching themselves up for that turtle, psyching themselves up for that long lane. Vincent's own purple buff is in shambles. Louisa 4 levels ahead of Vincent.
This is a choke point. Traction Pulse will be able to come in onto Melon. He gets immobilized though. The taunt knocks him down.
Oh!
Onto Melon. And now here comes the Girl Power from the side of FMM. Look at Bear. Look at Malik TZ just outputting the damage, just taking down damage one by one. But now this time around, they might be routed. Van sends his SOD down, sends all the way. FMM gets caught though. Van picking up that kill at the same time. Kingdom Esports finally getting punished. 2 men down.
2 men down for the side of Kingdom Esports, but Bear played a huge hand with the fist crack onto 4 members of Evil. Unfortunately, though, Vincent was soaking up all of these damages with the taunts. You have double taunts to deal with, so you're keeping Ben alive while just soaking up that damage and returning that damage with your ultimate as well with the Appraiser's Wrath. Now, unfortunately, though, Evil is still behind. Yes, they picked up a little bit more resources. Let's take a look at the replay to see what went down. Traction Pulse used it a little bit too deep, and FMM tried to stop them in their tracks. Ben was wide and open, no one was able to reach that. SOD goes wide, chases them down. Louisa down low, unfortunately though, blocked by FMM.
Yeah, it's just amazing how, you know, the wall from the side of Bear is actually blocking the rest of the members. Actually kind of safe. Hold on a second. The Lord is actually already down very, very low. Powerful trying to do it. Gears the one that secures the Lord. Unfortunately for the side of Kingdom Esports. Now there's going to be Evil trying to pay the price for that one. Sailor spreading the damage onto the side of Kingdom Esports. In fact, he picks up a double kill. Loisa and Malik TZ goes down for that one. And he's going to lead even more charge against Kingdom Esports.
Big plays from Ben. They knew that the Lord was already popping up. Now, the minions spawning up, the Lord immediately dies and spawns into their favors, marching in on the bottom side. Ben also was just waiting for the right opportunity to just deal with that damage. He's coming online, he's locked in and ready.
Man, CC was, if CC secured the Lord, that Lord is supposed to go for the side of Kingdom Esports, right? If CC didn't secure that Lord just now, and Sailor was allowed to just leave down the damage like that, man, it makes it so much easier. And now all of a sudden, Evo is fighting on the side of Kingdom Esports map. Sailor up with the damage. FMM once again punching back, tries to out-heal with that with a vengeance. With the revitalized now, the Lord still marching down at the bottom. Nobody from the side of both these 2 teams are down yet.
Ben has been busy as well. Look at the opposite side of the top lane. T2's been broken down. SOD goes wide. Louisa able to escape for now. He does have that Finch's poise, so he will be able to escape with his life. But man, Evil's been busy. Taking control of the side lanes, taking control of the split pushes that Kingdom Esports are unable.
Right into a Vincent taunt, man. Melon doesn't have any place to run, and now Bear landing down the wall, trying to block it out, and now he has to run. AOG coming outside of Powerful, trying to block off the escape, but the damage has been done. FMM and Melon goes down.
Good gap closer from the AOG, especially from Powerful, blocking off the advances from Malik TZ. So creating that space and pressure for Kingdom Esports to just get that retreat without Louisa, without that main damage from the Link. It will be a little bit tough for Kingdom Esports to win out all that fights, but it will be broken down by a 5v4 from the side of Evil. If Ben doesn't land the SOD at any one point of time, Kingdom Esports will be able to disrupt their entire gameplay. The fact of the matter is, Granger doesn't deal that much DPS when you're facing up against the tanks. So I think it's biting themselves in the foot in that late game. We're seeping into the 12-minute mark. 60 seconds till the next Lord spawns up. Evil finally having that lead that they crave for.
Yeah, finally, right? This is the late game that we're talking about that we've been hyping up for the past 10 minutes, right? And now it's finally here. It all started from that Lord Steel coming out from Gear, right? And Gear starting to become this problem that Kingdom Esports unable to deal. Melon's positioning is a little bit too much forward and allows attraction powers from Sailor. And then after that, Vincent, what a follow-up for that taunt.
A very good non-committal ultimate coming in from the Kimmy. I mean, what else is there to say? You could have that ultimate, use it as and when you want. Whenever that green dot is at the ready, just throw it in. If you catch someone, great. If not, man, it's gonna be a short cooldown anyway. I'm gonna be waiting in for the next ultimate cooldown once again. 10 seconds until the Lord spawns up. Evil controlling that top side pressure, maintaining that top side pressure. Look at where Powerful is trying to block up the entrance.
Oh, Kingdom Esports, look at them. They're all on the run. Bear left alone for his own devices. Ben just pinning him down. Sailor picking up a shutdown on that one. Kingdom Esports, man, they're on the run. They were on the offense just now, Churros.
I think this scene really paints the entire picture. Kingdom Esports is trying to maintain that lane pressure on all sides of the map. And now Evil, they're fighting as 5. The magic is coming through. The magic is showing. The magic is coming to life. But now Kingdom Esports, they're splitting themselves up a little bit too thin. You got a Crimson Beacon, get out of the way.
Vincent looking for a pickup right here, but he gets picked up instead. Glorious Pathway coming up from FMM, trying to turn the fight around. Malik TZ, Rhapsody goes on Vincent. The taunt, but the damage from Sailor, man, just melts FMM like butter. And now Loisa on the chase onto the Sailor, goes into the Embers of Blaze. He's going to be shut down, but don't forget, Van is also coming online. The SOD land all the way in the back line, and he picks it up. He goes for the kill. Bear, the only one left from the side Kingdom Esports, left to defend the base.
4 members down for the side of the Kingdom. They want to cycle it through. 10 seconds till FMM spawns up. Bear might not be able to do it. He does not have the fist crack.
No, but don't think so. They don't really have the minutes unless Bear can do something, especially when they get pinned instead, and the pinner gets pinned down, and that's basically it for the side Team Evil as they take game number 1.
What a game, what a call from Team Evil, ditching that Lord and knowing that they can take that Badang, knowing that he does not have the ultimate. A very, very close shave, a very close game, especially in the early game when you have Kingdom Esports showing supreme dominance and absolute performance from Evil to counteract and come back from this game.
The playoff buff really coming from Team Evil, my man. Churros, this is exciting, right? Team Evil rising up into the ranks. They were bottom seed at the start of the day. And finally,
it's just because they didn't play one game, and the rest of them has already finished like 4 games. So it's not really. It's a small sample size.
True. Small sample size. But if you see the performance that they've done for the past few weeks, especially against the other challenger team, man, the odds are not looking favorable for them. But Evil, because of this, man, they're looking really solid right now. We doubted the Vincent Frederick pick, but hey, he kind of make it work.
I'm sorry, man. I mean, when in doubt, go back to basics, right? Go back to the tank junglers. You know that you can play this. You know that you can make it work. Just go with your guts. I think Coach Carrot actually did a phenomenal job drafting for the side of Evil. I think if it was an assassin jungler, I don't think it would have been the same way. The story could be written very, very differently. Let's take a look at the statistics on both sides. Louisa has been busy. Bear has phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal plays coming into this matchup as well. A 4-man to 5-man kind of fist crack and lock everyone down the back line, but it wasn't enough. And I think the damage really shows where you pick Granger, a sort of like a bursty kind of hero against huge major tanks, and 3 to their name. It's going to be so difficult to break through.
It makes Sayla's role so much easier to play, right? He's basically hiding behind the Gado Kacha, the Frederick, and to a certain extent, the CC as well. Yes, I know CC is really... I don't really like this hero at all, but she does work well as a frontline.
Hey, we're in the same boat, man. I doubted Frederick, you doubted CC, so, I mean, they worked out. 13 to 9 kills, and you have the Kimmy actually having 7, 2, and 3. But now, the question to you is Kimmy still a valuable priority target?
Definitely.
It kind of seems like a lot of teams are just forgetting about it and just leaving it on the tables.
Exactly, definitely. Just take a look at this one, right? Like, the fact that even though, yes, you lead the Kimi out, and you can see the damage that Kimi can potentially do, but there's also ways for you to counteract against this Kimi, right? I think partially Loisa also we talk about target prioritization, right? Loisa wasn't able to target onto Sayla just because Vincent comes in. And don't forget, it's always a traction pulse. There's long-range, non-committal implosion. Caught Melon twice. And the Vincent follow-up, there's no way Melon can run, especially when she doesn't really pack the Purify. You pack the Flicker so that you can actually double Flicker with your ultimate into a team fight, right?
Yeah, and not only that though, you have double taunts from Powerful and Vincent. If you layer it in very strategically, you have like Vincent like, oh, I'm gonna taunt first, and then you taunt, and then Powerful goes in next. It's a very ultimately long stun.
Yeah, it is. It's like a perma stun right there. Melon couldn't even play the game at all. He's in the early game, even though Melon was able to do a lot of damage, was able to zone out Team Evil. But once you, what we mentioned, right? Once you go to the later parts of the game, Team Evil would definitely truly shine.
Yeah. To be honest though, it has all to do with Ven. If Ven wasn't as proactive as he is in the long lanes and split pushing and maintaining that lane prio for the side of Evil, I think
Mhm.
none of this would have happened. That one fight down the purple side as well, where
Mhm.
Bear actually caught out 4,
Yep.
he missed out Ven. If he
Yes.
would have caught Ven, it would all be over for
Yep.
Evil because
Definitely.
the lead would just snowball tremendously. I
Yep.
would say, okay, MVP of the game, Sailor as Kimmy, 7-2 and 3 KDA with a 77% kill participation. I like those numbers. I like those odds as well. But at the end of the day, Sailor was just phenomenal in using traction pulses to not only deny but to set up for the rest of the
Yep.
team. And the villains should be proud of themselves
Yeah.
right now.
Definitely. Right. Like.
And,
Mhm.
honestly, and I want to
Yeah.
give a
Let's
huge
call
shout
him.
out to the Evil fans because they're the only ones like bringing the drums, bringing the hype onto the venue. So if you're going down to the venue as well, down in Lot 1, Choshikang, please, there's one more match, or actually not even one more match, but like, a couple
Wow.
more games to be played.